Okay, so I used to work at a wilderness therapy program here in Utah. And we had teenagers from all over the country, and we would just be out like roaming the desert. We have kind of primitive packs and stuff like that, cooking around fires. So this one time there was a kid there that was pretty new, like maybe a couple days there. And we had just gotten to our new campsite after a day of hiking. We built a fire and we're getting ready to cook around the fire. And this kid says something to the effect of like, "Oh man, it's just crazy that I'm just like in the desert in Utah. Like sometimes I'm always just thinking to myself, like, is this my real life?" And so when he said that, I'm just, cooking, but I cued in on that and I was like, is this the real life? Is this just fantasy? And I was just gonna stop right there and just, keep cooking or whatever. But then my coworker was like, caught in a landslide, no escape from reality. And so, I'm kind of looking around and reading the room here, and a couple of the other boys are like enjoying it, and no one's like trying to have a conversation that we're interrupting. So me and the other coworker just keep it going. Open your eyes, look up to the skies and see. By that point, like even some of the other boys are kind of joining in, and we're just like singing this Bohemian Rhapsody, right? So the kid who like originally said he felt like just crazy being in the Utah desert, he was just looking around like kind of a little dismayed or whatever and giving people weird looks. And anytime one of the boys would like join in singing, he'd look even more surprised, kind of like as if he's surprised that they all know the song or whatever. So we just keep going. Like I never really thought we were going to sing the whole song, but like since some of the boys were getting into it, we just kept going. We sang the verses. We finally get to that part where it's like, I see a little silhouette of a man, and you'd think we had like choreographed it, because this boy over here is like, Scaramouche, Scaramouche, will you do the fandango? Then somebody else over here is like, thunderbolt and lightning, very, very frightening. Galileo, Galileo, Galileo Figaro. And like just you would really think we had choreographed it, but it was just working out so perfectly. But finally, like at about that time, this kid who had originally made the comment is just like beside himself. Like he's just looking like out of his mind a little bit, super agitated, to the point where like those of us that are singing are kind of noticed. So we're sort of like looking at him, and maybe even like a little bit just sort of like playing up a little bit, like thunderbolt and lightning, sort of directed at him a little bit. So finally, at about that point in the song, he just stands up and he's like, what is going on? And that sort of broke the spell. We all started laughing. But it turns out this kid had never heard Bohemian Rhapsody. Like he'd made it through his whole life never even hearing the song, whereas all the other kids like knew it enough to sing along, and like we were even choreographing it apparently. So yeah, he was really disturbed by that. He like thought he was getting punked, or like this is some sort of like weird flash mob thing, he being the new kid, or some sort of hazing. I don't know. But it wasn't. It was just a really fortuitous coming together singing that song.